Good morning, good afternoon, and if you're coming home from working a long 9 to 5, hope you're having a good night as we bring to you another Bodyslam post-full recap show, WWE Clash in Paris. Happened during the day, of course. People in the East Coast got to enjoy it. I believe it's like 6 p.m. there, so of course in the West Coast it's good 3 p.m. Max, my friend, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Fun enough show. Crowd was amazing. We obviously it's a WWPLE, so they always have to end with such a viral big moment. So gives us a lot of fun things to discuss, Rami.
It's good, especially after like last month's or whatever was a debacle, of course. Everything that we had to deal with that. Like it was a fun weekend that it of course ended with such a weird moment like that. So it's
Yeah.
good to not have to, have to think about that for the time being before they go full shift ahead into the next couple of weeks. Uh, but what an event, what a show, of course. Kicked off, noon, 9 a.m. for me, the pre-show. We had no matches at all. They've made this a continuing 5 year trend or so where we just don't get any pre-show matches. Like there's so much talent backstage. There's a lot of wrestlers back there who have stories on SmackDown, stories on Raw that look like they could be, you know what, they could make it on pay-per-view and they could, just have a shiny moment there and we could see what they can pull off. Especially something like Clash in Paris, where everyone's working these live events, but you keep them off the big pay-per-view show. Um, what's your thoughts on pre-shows and no matches?
I I think they should do at least one pre-show match. I think doing like 2 hours of talking. I think they're trying to make it more like NFL does 2 hour plus pregame shows. I think that's how they kind of look at it. But I still like AEW doing like the three matches where you get action into the main show. But I get how that can come off as being too much wrestling for people. So I think either or is fine. I don't need a pre-show match, but I think one maybe would be good.
I I personally believe that we should be getting 1 hour pre-show matches. Not 1 hour pre-show, 1 hour pre-shows and a just imagine it. 30 minutes of talking, do your business, 15 minutes of a match, and then you get into the final segments before you prepare everybody for the big show. Especially, having to do 2 hours of it, getting all this talent mixed into it, everybody who's featured on the show can get that hour, can get those like 3 minutes, at least 4 minutes of a video package, promote them, do the interviews, the rundown of how everything's been going, why is it happening. You can get that done very easily in 4 minutes, and they show that, and then they repeat that for the next 30 minutes, like 2 hours of just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But we definitely opened up the show with a big barn burner. Roman Reigns. Looks like, of course, after this he will not be seeing any TV time, but but he did show off a pretty good showing against Bronson Reed, who they they made look pretty goddamn strong. I love this performance from him. 85% of the match was just Bronson Reed just dominating lariats, pull throughs, hooks, everything he could to show Roman that, like, it's gonna take a lucky shot to get me. And there was the lucky shot. Bronson Reed slipped up with after of course, the announce table and all the chaos that was happening around the ring. He goes for the suicide dive, gets hit with a Superman punch. You think it's about to be over. Another one lands. No near fall too. Later on in the match, Roman goes for a spear, gets first countered with a drop kick, and then the second time around, it just got countered like it was nothing to Bronson Reed, and I thought that was amazing. I have not seen such a counter to a move like that in quite some time, especially with something where you, Roman Reigns is one of the most OP guys, in the WWE history.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, they've booked him to be. He's only lost two, three, four times. Like it's very short. When he does lose, get actually pinned, there's no interference to it. It's a big shocker to it, minus the Bloodline Rules match at WrestleMania 41. Was that WrestleMania 41 or am I 40? Was that
40 was the Bloodline Rules match.
Yeah, my apologies. I was smoking crack there. But no, it was a really good match. I loved what we saw from Bronson Reed. It showed off his arsenal, what people are supposed to be seeing from these guys. You're gonna see it soon enough from Jason Mateo. a lot of these guys who have such a arsenal of skills, but it's gonna take those PLE matches where we get a couple of those for them to be opening these opportunities, especially against a guy like Roman Reigns who following the match he gets the big win. He finally gets the spear off the Samoan drop off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Everyone is celebrating. Post Malone, Jelly Roll clapping their hands. And Max, what were your thoughts on Braun Breaker's complete beatdown and savagery over Reigns?
I loved it because I am the biggest Braun Breaker fan. I think thank you, Blackhawk. Look at that. Look at that one for you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dawson.
But I think Braun Breaker for me has been the most exciting thing to watch on Raw every single week. And they're definitely going to keep teasing him and Roman Reigns. I think you still see like 2 clear Mania matches for him if they go the Seth world title route, if Braun wins the Rumble, or they can obviously run Braun and Roman for a Mania match. But I thought the Roman Bronson match was fine. I thought it was it's rare to see Bronson get opportunities like this, so I was really happy to see him get one. But I thought the overall match was fine. It was a little too slow paced for my liking, but I thought the end goal was to write Roman off TV. They get Braun Breaker and Bronson once again standing over top of Roman. It is becoming such a running bit of how many different ways they can write Roman Reigns off TV. It feels like every time he gets beat up, you're like, uh-oh, he's going to be off TV. Obviously, we know he's filming the Street Fighter movie, and that's why Cody really hasn't been on TV for a while. But again, I'm all cool with Braun Breaker looking good as always. They got kicked out of the building, which set up the fact that someone else is going to have to help Seth in the main event tonight. But Braun Breaker, when he ran down the ramp and jumped so early into that spear, guy is a freak of nature.
I know.
So he's just must-watch TV for WWE at this point.
That shocking moment when he catches that spear on Roman into the announce table in front of Post Malone and Jelly Roll. That's a picture I cannot wait to see them upload later on because just the entire atmosphere, that the whole crowd, the way that everyone's gasping. It's like they just witnessed a murder and that was guaranteed one. Good way to write him off and good way to injure off Jey Uso, add towards that main event, especially with me especially thinking that they were going to write him off out of the match and we're going to get a complete replacement. But that was not the case here. Of course, Jey Uso was still ready to go. They ran this 22 minutes of an opener, but here was my gripe with it, and I said this on Twitter earlier. This was, I think, my only tweet there because I was like, I can't do this.
I agree with you, by the way. Your tweet was awesome. I completely agree with your tweet. Yeah.
A 1 hour match, essentially. 22 minutes of a match, along with, like, I think, let's say, like 4 or 5 minutes of an entrance, and then following up with Braun killing, Roman for all those moments, and then Bronson Reed coming in for the tsunamis on both Jay and on both Roman and Jay. It's just 1 hour. Did you really need an hour to do all of that? Like I've seen them, run those things quicker. You don't need it to be all this. I love the word wrestling is cinema, but you don't really need to be all cinematic with everything. Just to write some guy off.
Just to add on to Rami, I see that. I completely agree with you, by the way. I thought this happened on Monday, too. Like, they had the opening segment with Roman coming out, the promo, and then Bronson come out, promo, beatdown. That took, like, 35 minutes of Raw, the first 35 minutes of Raw. Like, it just takes too long. And I think we all complain about some other wrestling shows being too long, but this was, like, a nearly 4-hour pay-per-view for 6 matches. Like, I thought going in, the show would probably end at, like, 5, maybe 5:30. But it pushed 6 o'clock.
That's why I put it to 5:30 for us to enter the studio.
Yeah.
And look at us. It's about like 6:13 for you. Come on now. Crazy stuff to, of course, extend these shows and extend these matches. The next match we had up was a tag team championship match on SmackDown Gold.
Yeah.
The Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis, alongside the, fellow combatants against the Street Profits, who had beef out in the corner. I really did like that a lot because, of course, it adds some muscle for them just to deal with Nikki Cross, but she's so psychotic, so you never know where she's gonna get from.
Yeah.
13-minute match, some nice explosive moments. I liked one key moment where Angelo Dawkins ran into the corner, did the of course Ronaldo Sue, and then and the whole crowd popped. I just like that a lot. But Montez Ford, of course, another month, another match, another moment where he continues to shine
Yeah.
continuously, all over and over again. So it's the best that we can see from Dawkins, of course, never shies away from doing something big, and of course, I love his moment with Joe Gacy, where he just shoulder tackled him like he was Aaron Donald, just on the Rams getting that world championship of the Bengals. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this one?
I thought the match was again. It was. I thought it was okay. I thought at the end, the finish, I thought was really good. Like Montez jumping over, doing that tope over the corner. I think he always hits that really well. I thought it was interesting. They were really teasing some tension with Street Profits. The beginning of the match, they were kind of fighting who was going to start the match. The opening tag, like they hit, slapped each other.
It's getting in their heads.
Yeah. So I do think, SmackDown's had such a great year with the tag division, but I felt like they're kind of running out of steam, as feels like every single one of these tag teams have now had their shot at the tag titles at this point. I do think we need a fresh either story or just team being in the top of the card for the tag division. We've seen DIY, we've seen Fraxium, we've seen Street Profits, we've seen a lot of these teams now get their shots, and Motor City Machine Guns. They've all feel like they've just been wrestling each other for the whole year. I think it would kind of be nice if we saw a sprinkle of new teams. I thought it was interesting. We got Bo Dallas, the person, on SmackDown on Friday, not Uncle Howdy, because I do think, again, also the Wyatts weren't as interesting when they first debuted. So I think this all needs like a freshened up thing moving forward, either new team, new story, and something to get the Wyatt 6 momentum back here.
Yeah, because when, of course, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas entered the picture, when this whole Wyatt Six opened up the picture and we saw that moment that they arrived on Monday Night Raw, they left a bullet hole in Chad Gable's head. They were like this psychotic, crazy, like, soon-to-be team. Like it was like we were living inside of the house for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then, of course, little by little, it started to like simmer down. We saw signs, but we didn't see too much of it. Of course, with The Miz and Karrion Kross and the Final Testament feuding with the Wyatt Six. But I do like what they did, of course, this past week with opening up more of Bo Dallas' story, and allowing him to speak more from himself, to whether he's getting into people's head or trying to, get to them, trying to, cause a ridge. But of course, I would like to see what the future holds for them, especially Bo, because he did have, of course, a great career. I do assume that he can, of course, get in there, tussle down, have a good match and everything. I would like to see what happens next for him, because if anything, I thought he would have been the one to take the title off of Solo Sikoa. But now, with Sami Zayn winning the United States Championship, which rightfully so, I'm gonna always be happy for my boy to win gold. But now I wonder, like with later on, like Dolly Brooke match, with what we saw there, I feel like the winner of that definitely builds themselves up to going after the United States Championship next. But with this story, with what they're pushing for the Wyatt Six, I know that up next they are going to be feuding with the Solos MFT. So Tala Tonga, Tonga Loa, JC Mateo, all of them apparently, reportedly, allegedly, going to be involved in a feud with each other. That's the reason, supposedly, as to why Sikoa had lost the championship to Zayn on Friday night, which I don't mind. I don't mind. I like all three groups. I like all three people. So any story for them going forward to a feud, rightfully so. Pick your head up, do your job.
Yeah, I hope this works, because I love the performers. Thank you again, Nathan. I love the performers in this group, in the MFTs, but especially Jeff Cobb. But boy, has this run for him not been good for WWE. So I'm just hoping something gets to show up. Like he's getting "you can't wrestle" chants from the crowd, which was, I thought, completely out of
crazy stuff.
Really
crazy
bad.
stuff.
It shows you how bad the run's been. So I'm just hoping that type of
he didn't need to be part of the group whatsoever. Like I wish. And here's the thing: it's really only happening, of course, because of Tonga Loa, and Tamatonga being
Yeah.
of course injured. Tonga Loa at the time had been injured. They wanted to bring him in, add some muscle, and it was like, oh, this is gonna be very exciting. This is gonna be good. And I was thinking the whole time, he's not family. Like that just doesn't mix well with it. Like he looks
I
like Baby Rhino. You know what I mean? Like he just got teleported from 1999. He's Rhino spearing somebody through a goddamn table, and then he has to be part of this group behind Solo. He doesn't need to. He could be fighting Solo. He could be fighting any of that talent that's on SmackDown. Make it feel like SmackDown Live in 2016, but it tends to be watered down whenever they give us the same matches. They'll be like, "Oh, you enjoyed that? How about we give you 3, 4 more weeks of that same match over
yeah.
and over before we even get to the pay-per-view?" Like, come on, man. I can work with the segment. If you can do it with a main event, you could do it with a goddamn, mid card, lower card,
Yeah.
any card type of scene. The
Yeah.
next match, oh, by the way, yeah, Gacy and Loomis win with the plague, a suplex assist, like with an assisted power bomb.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. I like that Uncle Howdy got involved after Montez was like, suck it, and Nikki got his foot, like an Evil Dead type of scene. Ash Williams doesn't always survive sometimes. So it was good to see.
Yeah.
Um, but up next, so of course, retain the championships. But up next, we had Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella, 13 minutes for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Um, what were your thoughts on this match before, of course, I give my take?
I did not think this was very good. I think the Nikki Bella stuff has not been very good, in my opinion. I just think in ring hasn't been great. There was a couple missteps in the match where like Nikki was going for like this disaster kick, and Becky was like nowhere near that corner, and she met like what still went for the kick, and then Becky's like on the rope, and then they kind of had to talk to make sure what to do next. It was a very weird moment in the match. Becky, I still think Becky's doing amazing work. I think the new song is really awesome. I think we'll get to Becky, obviously, how she works into the main event. But post Lyra, the feuds haven't been that interesting. We've had like a match with Maxine for the Intercontinental Championship. That really wasn't very good either. The Natalya match was fine, but that wasn't the Natty Neidhart I think we all wanted to see in a proper IC title match with Becky. And now we're getting Nikki Bella, who, for me, the promos have not been very strong, and the in-ring work hasn't been strong in her return. So I don't know how much more they're going to use Nikki now moving forward. I think, again, Becky still has brought a lot of legitimacy to the Intercontinental Championship. But for me, this match was, for me, not very good, in my opinion.
I do feel I saw the of course missteps. I definitely don't want to of course put any pressure on anybody with of
Yeah.
course their career and whatnot. Depending on if you're like actually like an untrained, unsafe type of a worker or whatnot. There was moments in this match where the steps that she would have taken like of course years ago of course didn't land tonight. There was moments where like communication was just not key.
Yeah.
I feel like of course the excitement built into it was like, oh, what's this gonna be? Turned into a showing where, of course there could have been a better night for them in the future, but of course I don't know where this goes forward. Like you said, Nikki did look like she was taking, of course, the deep breaths. Looked like she was,
Yeah.
of course, a bit too tired in there. But I'm not gonna put it on her and say like that's gonna be, of course, the way that she's gonna continue to wrestle
Yeah.
whatsoever. Of course, she's gonna, get better, get better, get better, get back to the, of course, core strength and the way that she, wrestled that. And everybody grows. She had a, of course, child. I'm not gonna, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
put anything on anybody. I just wonder like what happens, going forward with this feud. Not really with this feud because of course the
Yeah.
ending to tonight, but Nikki, of course Nikki. Would like to see her work a couple more matches in this, especially if we can get her against any of the rising up and comers in the division right now that are looking to get a crack at a legend before they can go and get a world championship matchup.
Yeah, I think overall, I think I agree with you. I think having more reps on Raw will just help her even more. I just think putting her in, she was in the Battle Royal, and then she was in, I think she had the match with Chelsea Green, and then she had the eight
Which
woman.
was, yeah, and she said that day that she had been not even ring ready. She was still dealing with a little bit of the rust
Yeah,
because she had not been told, oh, you're working a singles match, so heading into that one, she was dealing with some problems.
Yeah, so
But
I
of
think
course,
more reps, I think, will only help
yeah.
her at this point. But
I
yeah, you go. Sorry.
no. I apologize. I just wanted to say that I agree with you. I do hope that she does get more reps on the red brand so that she could be able to, work her way up and continue to have those main pay-per-view matches. Go on.
And I just want to say too, it was weird again. It's another like main show where they only have one women's match on the show. They obviously were planning on doing Stephanie versus Naomi. I thought it really sucked. They didn't give Stephanie the title match on this show. I thought they could have made up like a fatal four-way or a gauntlet match to see who would face Stephanie. I thought it really did suck on Raw when that they got announced. And Tiffany's doing nothing on SmackDown. Julia's not really doing anything on SmackDown. And now you've no women's champion on Raw. They had a lot of momentum coming off of Evolution, booking wise, and then Naomi stuff was doing good. The triple threat at SummerSlam, which we broke down, was really good. But yes, they've really frozen the women's division since really Naomi's pregnancy stuff. So I wish there was more than one women's match. They're usually really good at doing 2 or 3 a show on these PLEs, but for 6 matches to only get one on, I thought they overall they probably should have just done Stephanie against someone for the title on this show.
And another thing as well, Adam Pearce mentioned on Monday Night Raw,
Yeah.
we're working for an opponent, to face you in the next couple of days or so, and he mentioned that we'll have an answer at the end of the week, meaning like of course end of the pay-per-view. I assume we're gonna get tomorrow morning or later this evening or whatnot a video from Adam Pearce where he's like, ladies and gentlemen. And this is official, you know what I mean? Like, and he gives us a rundown of like what matches we're gonna see from Monday Night Raw, which I hate on Adam Pearce. I love Scrap Daddy, you know what I mean? Like he ain't bad on me, but it's the fact that they could have booked, example, Julia against Mishin. Mishin just beat Kiana James in a straight up squash match, 5 to 10 seconds. You could have Nick Aldis could have been like, hey, you earned yourself a shot tomorrow. This
Yeah.
weekend, go get yourself a title shot right there because you just beat somebody who's right by Julia's corner who said you're never gonna get a shot. Beat her, give her a match. I don't care if it's like 8 to 8 minutes. People can work 6 to 8 minute matches and make it look good because
Julia can. She's one
I
of them.
trust those.
Yeah.
Mimi Shin has been working all over the globe. She's been working for over 15 and 20 years. You know what I mean? She's done it all. And same thing with Strat. And I don't know what they're gonna go with next. She's like, I'm undefeated to Jade Cargill's like 3 year undefeated streak, and she's like, girl, the fuck you mean? Like I was undefeated too. Like you know what I mean? Um, and just it's confusing because here's my take.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer versus for the women's world championship. What's gonna happen? Roxanne Perez,
Yeah.
perhaps. Rhea Ripley, perhaps. What do you call it?
Yeah.
Um, EO, thank you so much. In the picture. Fatal four-way, we get a main event between all of them, or they could just give it to the person who rightfully deserves it, Roxanne Perez. She's already defeated Rhea.
BEO.
What's that?
Yeah. She beat
EO, sorry, EO. She already beat EO, and her lost to, of course, Rhea. Add some conflict, but she beat the former champion. She beat the person that
Yeah.
beat the champion. My apologies. Um, and I feel like that definitely contends to a shot. Unless they want to give all 4 women a shot, which I still would not complain about, and I would have even not minded if we got it tonight to go on with the action.
And the tag division, they have nothing doing for the women's tag titles again. Like just another, they put 2 big stars on it, and there's the wrestling the Hervis again or something. Like it's just like SmackDown's weird. They have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte as the tag champs. They have Julia as United States, and they have Tiffany as the
And it still
overall.
feels awkward. Their interactions with each other still feel awkward, even though they're genuine friends. Of course, we know that, but like it feels like
It
on
is very
camera,
weird.
it feels like it can't bounce off each other. But
Yeah.
of course, moving on from this,
Yeah.
before we get into more Becky Lynch news, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, 20 minutes between these two. Of course, the crowd reaction to Rusev was not the best. Sheamus, of course, he's always loved everywhere he goes. And the thing is with Rusev and with this whole run and this, feud that he's been going into is it's not because of his, prior run, but I'm gonna say it's because his prior run where he assumingly so I feel like rightfully so a lot of these guys will assume that I belong in a world title picture. This is where I'm going next. Not bad to think about because you're in the business, where everyone's egos are all colliding with each other, and you want to be the very best. But I feel like with situations like this, where you head from another company to this one, and you have a feud like this, where it's not been very greatly recepted, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah,
been so many cities they've traveled to. There's been so many matches between these two that they've had, and it took till tonight to finally say let's put an end to this. And now the person who I'm not saying should have rightfully won because
sure.
I'm gonna assume that because of the win because with Rusev winning over Sheamus, I'm gonna assume that he goes next for the United States Championship in the near future, beats Zayn for it, and then they build Zayn up to whatever storyline that they build him to because I would love for him to become a world champion. But it's all depending still on how this vision is all working out too. Um,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts on this good old-fashioned Donnybrook match between Rusev and Sheamus?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought they have had 3 really good matches so far together. They both hit really hard and beat the shit out of each other, which is all I want to see when these two guys wrestle. So for me, it was good. I still think I want the direction of them becoming like basically doing like the Bar 2.0, where they
Like becoming good friends, like go for the
do a
tag
tag
titles.
team. Yeah, do a tag team run because again, Raw tag team division is doing nothing at the moment, so might as well get a new, fresh tag team there to maybe beat Judgment Day. Because again, Rusev, yes, he's doing a very similar character than he did in AEW, but he can always be that charismatic, good guy with Sheamus. I like that they earn respect for each other. Maybe on Raw tomorrow night, they have like, oh, I really respect us for going through those 3 matches. Let's do a tag or whatever. I think
Yeah,
that's the
or
direction.
like Sheamus or Rusev has a match sometime somehow some way
Yeah.
they end up getting like attacked by like let's say Judgment Day, like they try to double attack Sheamus, and all of a sudden we get Rusev saving day out of the blue. I think that would be also be a fun story. But continue on. My apologies.
No, I agree. And I also thought it was the right move to have Rusev go over here. This is his first big feud in his
Yeah,
return.
you
I thought it
gotta.
made sense for him to win. The white noise through the 2 tables, I thought was a really sweet spot in the match. And I thought, Sheamus had like spots all over his body, like 5 minutes in with the kendo stick shots from Rusev. So I'm just ready for this to juice up now post this feud. I hope we get the Bar 2.0 with Sheamus and Rusev moving forward. But I thought up to this point in the show, this was the most fun I was having watching the show because I thought the show was off to a really, really slow start. I thought this is where the show kind of finally started feeling like it got going here.
I agree with you, man. And not only does I agree with you, I love that idea of the Bar 2.0 because
Yeah,
you really do. Like Sheamus is great singles wise. Like he's literally always putting on banger after banger after banger. There's nothing wrong that he can do. Rusev, not a bad guy. You can put him in all these singles matches and he can continue to build up all these wins. But when he gets to that world title scene, who knows what happens to end that off. Um, but I would love to see those two team up and definitely build off a big like, Rusev Day. Go right ahead, like bring that all back. But like get some big following going for him so people can rally behind him and say, hey, we want this guy back in because right now it's not really feeling that kind of way. Not really a lot of people are riding behind Rusev, who he's a good talent. It's just about the direction that you got to take. And then when you feel like you're ready, everyone knows that you're ready.
yeah.
Um, but good match between these two. I wondered, what happens next storyline wise between, those two. Do they have an interaction tomorrow? Which Brawl will be on pretty freaking early.
2 o'clock tomorrow,
Um,
my time.
2 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 11 a.m. here.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be definitely something.
Yep.
Um, Next match after the good old fashioned Donnybrook match was between John Cena in one of his last matches of his illustrious 25 plus year career against Logan Paul. And yeah, what a match. Like Angels Wings, End of Days, Styles Clash. There's like this man was pulling out all the custom moves. Like he edited himself before this match and he was like, let me see what rivals that I've had over the years that I've beaten and let
Yeah.
me actually even trained with because he's trained a little bit with Christopher Daniels early on in his career. Got some pretty good pointers. Definitely because who wouldn't? But it was really nice to see. Logan needs to stop emulating Hangman Adam Page. It's not
He's
working.
not hitting that move very good. No.
He's not doing his job right. Just do your own fitness. Like do the same one that you've been doing. Like actually you can't really even do that to Cena. What am I
Yeah.
saying? Like for Cena to even get up on that high, he'll be like, dog, I'm filming Peacemaker season 3. I ain't
Yeah.
doing that. But what were your thoughts on this one?
Again, as someone who is not a John Cena guy, I thought again, this was, from my opinion, his second best match this year behind the Cody match. I thought, and again, my main takeaway continues to be, again, Logan Paul was pretty damn good at this. And I'm not the biggest fan, obviously, of the human being, but the guy is undeniably, he gets better every time he is in the ring. He is more than capable in the ring. His airtime, I think I talked about this on every post show, but when I was at WrestleMania 40 and he had that triple threat, that was the highest I've seen anyone jump off the top rope in person in my life. And I know he missed that first frog splash, but man, the airtime he got was incredible. I love his finish. I know he didn't use it in this match. But I think Cena, again, it's another really solid Cena match. I thought this wasn't nearly as good as the Cody match, but I thought
Oh, the Cody match was ultra crazy.
yeah, it was
Come on
definitely one
now.
of the best matches of his career. But I still think this is easily his second best match this year, in my opinion. So I was not totally excited for this match because I wasn't sure how Cena was going to do in just a regular match, not the no DQ, no shenanigans, just really straight up wrestling match with Logan Paul. And I think, again, Logan has done a really good job since he's been there. I know he won at SummerSlam over Jelly Roll, but he still puts a lot of these people over in the end of the day. And again, I'm not excited because I think we're going to get Cena and Brock at WrestlePalooza. And I literally was telling my friend who was watching, I was like, of course, right as Cena is finally getting momentum in ring with two really good matches, here we go, where we're going back to Brock Lesnar. And yeah, I don't, it's a sad because I'm not a John Cena guy and I'm finally liking the work the last two matches. And now we're going back to this. So it's a frustrating thought, but I thought this match was very, very good.
I love everything I see from John Cena. Logan Paul has not really been my cup of tea. He can bump, he could take those bumps. He can do his work. Wrestling wise, he does tend to take care of his opponents, and he does tend to take care of the work that he does, of course. So of course you got to give props, where it's due.
Yep.
I know people will say the whole he does train all this time and then gets those big matches. Hey, a lot of people do, but it's all about what you make of your moment, about what you have in the ring. But yeah, like you said, fucking hell, man. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, it sucks because the heel run was shit. It was I thought it was gonna be the coolest thing in the world. I was like, we're getting new music, new gear. He's gonna be full blown like Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, spitting on everybody and everything. Just it was gonna be the craziest thing we're gonna see. Like whether he's in a freaking black tailored suit with The Rock, all of them fucking all hailing to each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what you expect. They formed this group. All right, let's see Monday Night Raw overseas. Everybody watching what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything. We got nothing. So it sucks to see that, and it sucks to see how the next couple of months, Randy Orton, CM Punk, R-Truth, there was so many matches and moments where you're like, really? Even John teaming up with Logan against who was it, Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes?
Yeah.
Like even with that match, you're just like, all right, that's great and all, but
I agree with you. These were not good. The two matches
no,
he's had as a babyface have been good, have been great or good. It's gonna be weird. He said on the post show he has 8 more dates left. So who knows if that's 2 more matches, 3 more matches. Because he technically had a match on SmackDown, but that was a DQ, so that it wasn't like a full match or anything. So 8 more dates, 4 months to go in the year. So basically two appearances a month for the rest of the year. It's going to be, which is weird. I thought it would be more dates than that with 4 months to go. But I
If
think,
there's one match that he can do on SmackDown, I
yeah,
feel like the one person that he should give a match to on SmackDown is Carmelo Hayes. The guy has done so much incredible work
I
and a
wish.
rub off from Cena. Especially your first match on SmackDown was against Cody Rhodes, and one of your best matches. Let's say if it does turn out all perfectly well, all hail to them. If it does good between Hayes and Cena, two two guys who've dapped up each other in NXT, two guys who have spoke to each other backstage. So much advice has been given to off from Cena to the of course the young Carmelo Hayes. It would be definitely be a match that everyone would enjoy, especially me. And I think that if there's one guy who deserves it, it's definitely him. Whether it's him or at the time Jacob Fatu. Jacob would have been a crazy option, but like it's if you want to elevate one of these guys, it's those two. On Monday Night Raw, if there was two guys that you had to put John Cena against, uh, I'd say
Braun.
Seth Rollins. Are you gonna say Braun Breaker?
Yeah.
Braun, hey, I would even change up my pick. Braun Breaker would definitely be a guy that you can go against, and also another guy that definitely can get a big boost. I was thinking of most nostalgia match when I said Seth, but a guy that you can get a big boost with main event wise in the future, Dominic Mysterio, current Intercontinental Champion, most
Yeah.
likely will lose, most likely might lose it tomorrow, but he said, "I'm willing to give this man a shot for the title. Let's have it happen right then and there." Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like next Monday, go right ahead. Like after tomorrow night set up a one off between those two. I'll take it.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree with you. I think I am the biggest, if you know me personally, I'm the biggest Carmelo Hayes fan. I just am so done giving hope to it until I have to see it to believe. I really thought they were going to break up him and Miz weeks ago, and they're still doing Carmelo and Miz. Like,
I
what are we
agree.
doing? What are we doing? Like,
Melo, Melo
this is
don't
bad.
miss, but Melo don't miss, but it sure does misses my TV time because I'm just like, I love both guys because I grew up being a big Miz fan. Like I had
Yeah.
the faux hawk. I was like, I'm Rami and I'm awesome. I thought I was like the most
Oh yeah.
dorkiest motherfucker in the world. It was good growing up and seeing him win the WWE Championship, but in a situation where he doesn't need to be in a tag team, he doesn't really need to be a tag team champion. You really don't know where he goes next with the next, patch his career if Carmelo Hayes does split from him. He can continue working his matches, and that's rightfully so on him. But like, I just wonder what happens for Carmelo Hayes, right? More importantly, because his career is the one that's going to be seeing 10, 15, 20 plus years now of new action, new competition, new challenges, new goals that he wants to break. If we're already saying that Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker are going to be guys that are main eventing
Yes.
these WrestleManias for the next 10 years, then I want to see Carmelo Hayes involved in that, whether it's a Intercontinental title match or fighting to go for the World Championship. There's so much talent in WWE right now of all the future that
Yeah.
can do great work. Um, heading into the main event, of course we still knew that Jey Uso's ribs were just busted up. CM Punk was pissed off on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
LA Knight was determined to finally become one of the same guys to win World Championship. All those three men had already won a World Championship, whether it was in all this year. That's the same thing too. All of them won titles this year, all the World
Yeah.
Championship, and LA Knight wanted to join this big list. But wow, it great match, just really
Yeah.
fun match. I love the opener of how Punk just catches Jey Uso with that sweet kick in the face. Because of course it translates me back to that moment where Shawn Michaels super kicked
Nice.
Triple H
Yeah.
at Survivor Series against John Cena. And then afterwards I love that moment where we saw Jey Uso he was trying to go for a suicide dive. As soon as he turns around, he gets caught with that flying clothesline by Punk, and it gave me off shades of Raw 1000 when CM Punk got The Rock when he was trying to go for the people's elbow. I was like, right there, right then and there, I was like, okay, that's some cool two, like callback moments if you can see it that way. Um,
Hmm.
but 24 minutes,
Yeah.
Actually, not the longest match of the night. 26 minutes went to Cena and Logan. They had 2+ minutes on those two, but in 24 minutes, this Fatal 4-Way had all the action packed into it. Chairs, tables, mistakes, capitalizations on the faces, but in the end, even when the Vision had none of his goons around him like Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, because they got sent right at the doors. You come back suspended with no pay,
Yeah.
and Bronson Reed is a father. He needs the money. You know what I mean? Like
That's
you
right.
gotta be you gotta be stacking up that cash. He was like, all right, I want to kill these guys, but I gotta protect my family too. And
Damn right.
Braun Breaker was just thinking about hell. He was thinking about killing people, just sending even out Adam Pearce to a wall.
Yeah.
But he has to control his temper. But in the end, a callback moment to their first match against each other, in the new year. Netflix debut main event was Seth Rollins and CM Punk, just to see who would win a decade later after everything that they had been through, whether it was CM Punk's ring rust that they had, claimed he had, or it was Seth Rollins' domination and, carrying the company on his back. And I do like the callback moments where they had that no matter what, Rollins has always carried the company on his back for the last 10+ years. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
And along with that, he's taken so much damage to his knees, to his back, everything. So when he goes for the curb stomp on the outside to Jey Uso and then to Logan Paul, oh, sorry, I said Logan Paul, LA Knight, um, and he gets into the ring and says, "This is it. This is the final countdown," and it misses up, and we get that callback moment back to the finale to that Netflix match. CM Punk wins this match if there is absolutely no, if there's security all over the place to stop anyone from jumping the guardrail. But as soon as he yells, "Go to sleep," low blow, revealed to be Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch, also the wife, and mother to his child of Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. Great. Just I thought it was great just for the fact that we've been waiting to see her join this group for
Hmm.
quite some time, and then we finally get it. It happens like this, where she, yeah, you don't have your big freaking bad goons spearing everybody all over the place, but in that right moment, in that right time, when you take everybody out, and that's the thing, that was the Vision. He, rightfully so, this man knew if I don't kill this guy through this chair, my foot's going straight through it and I might end up, getting fucked up. But the
Yeah.
plan's always been simple. The plan's always been set. Family is everything. The Vision knows it all. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch capitalize on a big moment to retain the men's World Heavyweight Championship. Um,
Yep.
and just, of course, what were your thoughts?
I also had a lot of fun with this match. I had a
Hmm.
lot of fun with the ending. I might be in like the minority here. I am a
Go
bit
ahead.
getting old of all of the WWE pay-per-view main events, feeling like they need something, a shock moment to end every show where instead of like focusing on the in ring, I'm waiting for the shenanigan thing to happen. This worked. I just, a little bit more variety. It would make these special moments pop more if they didn't happen every PLE. I also thought they were going to do what I thought was, it felt like at least the wrestling fans and the streamers, I thought they were like all in on this LA Knight should be world heavyweight champion for us. And I thought in this match, they were going to have more, oh my God, LA Knight's actually going to do it. Because everybody loves to do that with people who maybe they don't see as the world title guy, but the fans do. So they like to kind of
Yeah.
tease you with that. But this was much more about Seth and Punk. I think this is going to excite a lot of people because they teased it on the post show. They teased it at the end of the show. They are leaning very heavy into a possible dream mixed tag match with Seth and Becky against CM Punk and his wife, who has not wrestled in a very, very long time, AJ Lee. So I think WWE is trying to go as big as possible for WrestlePalooza going up against All Out. They want to make sure they are the show that is talked about. They want to be, because they really are going head to head for now. AEW starting at 8, WWE starting at 7. One way to keep doing that, yes, you'll have probably Brock and Cena headline the show, but Seth and Becky against CM Punk and the returning AJ Lee is a big needle mover for them. So I don't know if that's like, because we're under a month away from that pay-per-view, so I'm not sure if they have enough time maybe to get AJ just on the show. Maybe they do Seth and Punk again, like one-on-one. Maybe AJ costs Seth the match, and they do another, like they do the AJ return at WrestlePalooza instead of just doing the actual match there. Maybe they wait for like Survivor Series or something like that to do the big match. But people on Twitter were like, is this going to be like the new member of the Vision? Would it be Austin Theory? Would it be like Tony? I saw like so many people's theories out there. I actually like the Becky Lynch thing. Becky's been talking a lot about Seth in promos too. Like it has been like
her husband.
Yeah, very much set up. So this works. I also think we need Jay and LA Knight, especially Jay, just out of the world title picture and doing something else at this point. But Seth and Punk seems like it's the rivalry that will never end on WWE. So Seth wins again. I'm always happy with it. He, to me, is the most complete performer on the roster at the moment. So I'm cool with him being world champ. And this mixed tag match will be a very big deal if it indeed happens.
Yeah. I didn't mention this. I forgot to mention this earlier, but of course we saw during that opener, Paul Heyman just die. He got strangled by Roman. He got fucking just straight up killed on live pay-per-view via streaming service. But like it was a good ending, of course. I like the, of course, low blow and her taunting Punk, like, dude, you really didn't think that this was gonna happen? I don't think I want to see it maybe for WrestlePalooza, but if it does, it would be a shocker if they literally had, of course, AJ backstage for tomorrow night, and then you have this big brawl between the two, and it sets up like already off the bat that you're gonna want to have to, watch this event.
Yeah.
But I do think that it puts a sour taste in people's mouth that, an event that's promoted, headlined by, of course, Brock Lesnar, I don't think is anyone's like cup of tea unless you're a silly little idiot, and that's the nicest way to put it, without getting kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah.
But to describe the people who are, of course, pushing and pulling for how happy that they are for, what do you call it? For, Cena to face Brock. When we could have gotten, AJ Styles.
Younger
I would
people.
love that. Dominic Mysterio, like I mentioned, Carmelo Hayes, and Jacob Fatu. Like Jacob Fatu is like borderline those guys, like the type of guy that you want to see Cena face, like how back, during 2017, how Cena faced Shinsuke Nakamura. It was during that time where he had signed with WWE, he had come up to the main roster. Jinder Mahal was a champion. I love Jinder Mahal, and I love that world title scene, world title reign. But it was the fact about how do you take the title off of him? It wasn't Randy again. It wasn't Shinsuke. They waited until a random episode in England to take the title off of him with, AJ Styles winning it. So who he can face who? Brock Lesnar. Like this guy's been fucking everything up for years. And people are like, man, I'm so happy for him to be back. Go to hell. Just go to hell, man. Everyone. Just straight up, brother. But that was the ending. That was, of course, I thought. Well, actually, I want to say that Bodyslam did report this. It said that this show was going to end with a big bang. I didn't see Sheldon Cooper there, but of course we did. Of course, we did see Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch unite. Their loving marriage turns into a sick, twisted partnership where they can continue to hold their championships and ruin CM Punk's life. I don't know when AJ could be introduced into this. I would like to see it happen at Survivor Series, kind of like a Sting moment where like CM Punk like has his like War Games fellow-ins and everything, and then bam, you get that moment. But that'd be continuing the feud way too fucking long.
I know.
End it already. I'm tired of this. Let him face anybody else. He even said like it's a breath of fresh air at SummerSlam to be facing somebody that isn't. Oh, you left to a different company. Oh, sorry, you went to a different company. You left this company high and dry.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. Shut up, man. That's been 3 years now. Go to therapy if you got it. You know what I mean? Therapy is good for all of us. Let's go. Let's go, man. If it's bothering you that much, talk things out. You know. But like the storyline just doesn't really help with the communication that you want to see between these guys, especially after 3, 4 years. Like I
Yeah.
get people hating each other, but if you hate each other that badly, you don't have to face each other every single time. But the world title's on the line, and that's always going to be a big picture for all 4 men or 2 men. Jey Uso needs to, of course, go on to something else. I would like to see LA Knight get one more shot at the title, and then just like finalize it right then and there, and then move him to where like an upper mid card picture to where like he can go to Intercontinental title, go for something, and create a big reign because you can do big things with that Intercontinental title, and people can trust you in the
Yeah.
future for something big if the opportunity does arise. Um, but their next event, Indianapolis, Indiana, September 20, Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Oh, sorry, Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
Yep.
Um, this has been something that they've been cooking up, as they say, for quite some time. It's a counter product. All Elite Wrestling's all-out event that will be in Toronto, Ontario. Uh, of course, fellow comment maker Dawson Peterson will be going there. Hopefully, everybody has a great time in Toronto. There's so many people who want to travel from the United States to go to Canada to go and see this event because you get to see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage CNC their team name against FTR and that's already off the bat the coolest thing ever. And then Hangman on Page stolen action. There's Darby Allin and John Moxley will continue the tradition of trying to kill each other on pay-per-view for your hard-earned money. But WrestlePalooza, it will be the first event that will be airing live on ESPN's for a new direct-to-consumer
Yeah.
app. And it's gonna feature headlines like Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which you can read more about Brock Lesnar in the 44 pages that he is in for his lawsuit, um, from a former employee Janelle Grant, who is suing the WWE for sexual assault and sex trafficking. Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, the WWE, Brock Lesnar, all named in over 80 pages in a lawsuit. So yeah, it goes to show you where some worlds stand. Um, but we should be seeing some other matches that night. But of course, AEW All Out should be a good one. Um, and it should feature just some of the best matches. There's so many opening spots. Swerve Strickland just had a surgery, while Ospreay is going to be out of action getting surgery. There's so many openings and so many cool people that are there. You've been seeing it for yourself.
I was pulling up Corey saying, "What's up? What's up, Corey?"
Uh, good. Great to see you, Corey. Um, just another WWE PLE, and just seeing how everything goes for the future.
It's gonna be the first like full on head to head battle between AEW and WWE probably since
This is
yeah.
This is huge. This is gonna be huge because it's all about how many people use that ESPN direct to consumer app. I've been trying to use it. It's been good for like the UFC and Shanghai China event. That was fun. Like from midnight to 6 a.m. It was a pretty solid event. Didn't really fuck up on me
Yeah.
most of the time. I've been seeing how the multi-view screens have been working for, of course, college football, tennis, golf, all sorts of things. It's a pretty nice outlet. But of course, it all really depends. It's really mostly also quality over quantity as well. And
Yeah.
even with the quantity that AEW pulls out, like these 8 to 10 match cards, you feel so much in all those matches that you're like, okay, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? And when you get to the main event and you're like, man, I'm kind of stuffed. There's still dessert right there on the table that's gonna send you home right there, happy and healthy. Whereas the E is like food poisoning that you don't know you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Like it's good
Wow,
for the
Ron.
first for the first couple of matches, but then when you get to that main event of WrestlePalooza, if the headliner is that, then you're gonna be fucking kicking your seat the whole time, begging the guy that you get home, open up your fucking door, slam it shut, and just get to your
Yeah.
washroom, as the Canadians say.
Just want to look at what Corey is saying. He said Patreon's going crazy, which is great. I'm going to put that up really quick. So if you guys are watching us, subscribe to Bodyslam's Patreon because Corey is breaking unbelievable. He had the match card out before anyone else today. Bodyslam reported the match card for SummerSlam. The ending of Clash, Corey's reaction to that. And then, yes, wrestling fans are eating very good. There's everyone's taste. There's something out there for everyone. I've been, and we'll talk about promoting other stuff in a bit, and I'll talk more about what I've been doing this week. But this is going to be a very interesting month. We've talked about it. I'm not sure how we're going to do the post shows, as I'm usually doing the post shows for both companies. So I don't know how we're going to do the post shows for both shows, but we'll figure it out.
We gotta do a super mega ultras, coverage, like full recap of it. Like we cover both, but we see which ones that we dish in and we don't really want to talk about. And essentially, it could be something fun, like something that we can work into a super mega ultra stream.
Yeah, would love it because it's gonna be a fun night in pro wrestling. It's gonna be a fun night. I just hope. Obviously, there's going to be so much negativity, which other company you like more or not. But as someone who watches wrestling literally every single day of my life, couldn't be more excited to have two big shows going on. I wish we had one at a time, but this is the situation that we are currently in. So yeah.
But I cannot wait to see what happens. What goes forward. I thought I saw any new comments from Corey. But yeah, tell us about all the projects that you've been doing recently.
Oh yeah, so thanks. So you guys, if you can follow Bodyslam on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube as well. If you're watching us, please subscribe. So if you're not familiar, AEW has currently started their residency here I live in Philadelphia, at the 2300 Arena, which was the home of ECW. In the 90s and the 2000s. So I've never been there before, but sorry about my lighting. But out of nowhere, it just became streaking across my face. But
it's Philadelphia. What do you expect?
Yeah, but yeah, sorry about that. But I was at Dynamite. I was at Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, and I was at AEW Collision last night. If you go to our Instagram and our TikTok, I did all sorts of video coverage of entrances, videos, big moments covering the show. And then Friday night, I was lucky enough to be a part of the press conference for Death Before Dishonor. So I asked a question to Paul Walter Hauser, Bandito, and Tony Khan himself. We're going to post those press conferences on YouTube any day now. So stay tuned also to our YouTube channel. And they are still here for 2 more weeks. So I will be here for 4 more shows. I'll be going to the 2300 Arena. So this Wednesday, I'll just say this to promote it. This Wednesday, I'll be at Dynamite, a big show. We have Mercedes is defending the TBS title against Alex Windsor. And we have Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Jet Speed against the Young Bucks, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher. I'll be at the 2300 Arena live at Dynamite, posting live videos of coverage. So please follow Bodyslam on all socials so you can follow along at live in Philadelphia for some fun AEW shows.
And you're completely right about that. And I truly cannot wait to see how the Young Bucks react to Hangman and Omega just being buddy, and they want to just try to kill them. It's gonna be perfect because everything that they've been doing with the Young Bucks has just been so much fun. Mr. Instant Replay, Slick Nick, the bop by Hanson and the shirts that they've made out of it.
Yeah.
Everything has just been so good. So I do appreciate what they're doing, and I cannot wait to see how All Out turns out, because my big hype, what I'm hoping for, is that Josh Alexander pins Hangman Adam Page and shocks the world in that All-Star tag. So that he can earn himself a shot at All Out in his home of Canada. It's not too far. It's not too far from him, from where he originally grew up, from Toronto, Ontario. So right then and there, give him that opportunity. Let him have that shot. Don Callis family would be eating good, because Kyle Fletcher has another defense coming from it All Out, whichever, if you give it to Mark Briscoe, or you give it to somebody else in that big contender scene, and
Yeah.
then you have the main event filled with Josh Alexander. Well, actually, it won't be the main event. No, offense to the two fellas, Josh Alexander and Hangman Adam Page, but I assumedly so that we're gonna get Cope and Christian against FTR as the main event in Toronto. Like,
Yeah.
come on now. Come on. That's a perfect ending. That's gonna send everybody
Yeah.
feeling like Sexton Hardcastle. But we're gonna be having so much fun. I have an interview coming up this Tuesday. We'll not give out the name just yet, but I have an interview coming up this Tuesday with a big name in professional wrestling. They're having a great run in the past couple of months, past couple of years as well. A lot of anniversary moments coming up for them, and
Oh,
plus
nice.
a big match coming in September. So it should be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for us to get that out. It should be recorded on Tuesday morning, and it will be out, I believe, Wednesday by noon. So on the Patreon. So, of course, subscribe to our Patreon. We have so much breaking news coming out from Corey, from myself, from Mark O'Brien, Russell Mobs, from, of course, so many people. There's so many contributors from Bodyslam that are able to help us out with the Patreon, and you should definitely subscribe to it. We have the best professional wrestling news, and it's definitely something that you should definitely pay your hard-earned $5 to. $5, and you get the best news of professional wrestling, like rundowns for pay-per-views, notes and sneak peeks to what's going to happen for Monday Night Raw, maybe NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown, even maybe other news that you will be hoping to see from all your other favorites. Ask and you may receive.
Yep.
Thank you, and thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in. We've almost had 1,500 people
Woo!
tuned in. We've had, comments about oiling me up and spanking me, calling me hot. But you know
Unbelievable.
what? Unbelievable stuff. You know what I mean? Like the paparazzi's going crazy in this world. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I start going into hiding. I gotta start closing my blinds
They
right
can't
now.
get enough of you,
Um,
Rami. They can't get enough of you at this moment.
it's just too much. I think the glasses. I don't have the glasses on me right now, but I think that sent the whole world into flames.
Oh,
But but they, of course, thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in over an hour of talking about WWE Clash in Paris, which featured 6 matches, 4 hours. There was certainly afternoon to remember, and something to look forward to, especially tomorrow night. It's like tomorrow morning, really tomorrow after, the noonish
midday.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Midday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mountain Time. You know how it goes, and all those others. But of course, Monday Night Raw will be from Paris, France. Dominic Mysterio will be defending Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles. This could be the big crowning moment that AJ Styles has been looking forward to for quite some time. Get revenge and get the Intercontinental Championship back in his grasp. Against Dominic Mysterio, who's had a very, very big run since WrestleMania and looks to retain and continue on to win the Mega Championship from Vikingo at their next Worlds Collide event, which I believe is in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, should be a good one. The next couple of nights, next couple of weeks, a lot of wrestling event, AEW, WWE, TNA. There's a lot of good wrestling out for everybody who's a fan of whichever company. It also depends on the company. Like, follow some good sources and follow some good people. Don't be a sheep to bad promoters or bad cards that you don't want to support.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much to everybody who, of course, took the time out of the day to listen to us give a full recap of this card. We will be back on September 20th. When the WWE has WrestlePalooza, the first event on ESPN, the new direct-to-consumer app, when we have AEW, All Out in Toronto, that will be going on head to head. So our eyes are going to be going back and forth all over the place.
Oh
If
yeah.
if I was Mike Wazowski, I'd be screaming to hell right now.
There you go.
But it might do us some justice with the way that this Super Mega Ultra live stream will be, and with all the reactions and thoughts that we can give out on both sides of the world.
Yeah.
Max, where can they find you on your socials?
You can find me here on where you see at Dinnenberg Max. That's on Twitter. You can also follow me at Max Dinnenberg on Instagram. I collaborate, so all the videos you'll see me in Philadelphia covering AEW will also be on my Instagram. So please follow me. And as I said, please follow everyone at Bodyslam's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube for all these videos that are coming out. We luckily, I filmed it. I was sitting right next to John Moxley when he came out on Wednesday. That video has nearly like 3,000 views on TikTok. So we really appreciate everyone supporting all of our socials. So if you're new to Bodyslam, welcome. Please, please, please follow us on all of our different platforms. We post videos every single day. I also do highs and lows for basically every single show, every single day. So I'm busy with Bodyslam on social, so please also stay tuned for that.
And you can find me at Who Else But Rami. You can find right there. Sorry, you can find right there. I don't know. You can point at whatever. But yeah, you can find me at Who Else But Rami on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube as well. There's like 2 channels on YouTube, but you'll find the right one if you see my picture. And if you're watching us on Facebook, that means you're part of that world. But if you add me on Facebook, I might have to shoot you. But that's always a big disclaimer that you guys gotta give, like, beware of, something, beware of gun, like, you know what I mean? But like actually promoting gun violence here, before we get shut down here, and sent to a wall. But like, I will shoot you. But anyways, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Of course, follow us on our socials, and we will be back September 20th. Might be back even before then. I really don't know. There could be any event that could be happening, and we could just say, you know what, let's cover it. We make a good duo, and it's always fun to see how everything goes. So thank you so much to everybody who tuned in, and of course, we will see you next time.